Want some? Get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything. It's a pirate's life for me. Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're a pirate.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I don't think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
You live with Omaha? I can promise you that.
And it's purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome into TSO Sunday Night, our bowl selection show, and we have got a great show, I promise you, as we bring in, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle from LaGrange. Bob, how are you?
What's going on, Dave? Yeah, we got our bowl announcement today, but first, at the beginning of the show, I'd like to address something. Okay, so back on Friday, seems like a long, long time ago, just the other day, was 48 hours ago, we reported on something that John David Baker was going to be named the new offensive coordinator at Ole Miss, the University of Mississippi, if you will, the Rebels, although their mascot's a black bear now. We reported he would be their new offensive coordinator. And that has not happened. He's not been named their offensive coordinator, but I addressed this over on HTC, how this came to be, and just so to be transparent. It was me. It was Kyle from LaGrange that reported that information. I told Dave my source. Dave said, go ahead with it, report it. And I don't think we were given bad information. I think we were given overzealous information. My source is a high school football coach in the state of Mississippi. He had got the information from a fellow high school football coach, both playing or coaching for state championships. The other high school football coach is an Ole Miss alum. So the source, the initial source, who is a high school football coach in the state of Mississippi, also gave us the information back in 2018 that John Gilbert would be our next athletic director 2 weeks before anybody else had it. We confirmed that information with a reporter down in Hattiesburg named Jamie Arrington back in 2018. And we had two sources for that. We reported it and we were right. This one, I would say the only mistake we made, and I'll put most of it on me, was we didn't confirm it with a second source. I reached out to a second source locally who could not confirm it, and I went ahead with the information. And I should not have. I should have waited for that second source. You should always have two sources. And so we reported on something prematurely or perhaps completely incorrectly, but it was not made up, and we trusted the sources that gave it to us. They've been right in the past. Oddly enough, RAD also came from the state of Mississippi. Again, same source. We had two sources for that at the time when we reported it. This time we only had one. And so just want to clarify that. As of, this time, he is still the offensive coordinator at East Carolina. And until further notice, that's his job. We will admit when we get something wrong, but nothing was not made up. We weren't trying to be first. We weren't trying to get the scoop. We legitimately thought we had something. And I shared that information with other reporters in this area or news outlets or whatever you want to call them. Media, I guess would be the correct term. And, gave them chances to confirm before they decided to report it. And like I say, I think our only negative was we did not have that second source before we reported it. And so there you go. There's the explanation on that. And I'll shut up.
All right. So welcome in. And and same thing with, we can talk about the bowl game really fast. I did not put it out on our social media, but I will tell you that for those that said it was incorrect information, it was correct. Something happened this afternoon, but Duke and East Carolina we're supposed to play. That was the first. In fact, I waited for a long time. I have multiple sources on it. So again, things happen like that sometimes. But anyway, let's
But
talk
we didn't
now
report
about
that. That was on your private social media, Dave. I mean, that if it's not
Yeah, I
on our
didn't
official
report that
social media, yeah. So
yeah. Anyway, let's bring in Matt Semenza, former linebacker during the Logan era. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys? Definitely interesting news tonight. I'll tell you what, we got a very solid matchup in the bowl game against Pitt, who's, when you look at what some of the things they've done under Pat Narduzzi over the years, they've done some really good things, and they've had a few dominant wins so far this year, and obviously a few disappointing losses, to the likes of Notre Dame and Miami to close out the season. But it's a very good opponent. Personally, I have no issue going back to the Military Bowl. I enjoyed it last year. I think Annapolis is a good spot. Pretty convenient for everybody here on the East Coast. So I'm excited about it and looking forward to breaking it down.
No doubt, as we bring in Stevie Fly, our great head coach. What's up, brother?
Kind of disappointed. I'm thinking, since I didn't get introduced before Matt and Kyle, that I'm just going to have to opt out of the podcast tonight, so y'all can find me $500,000.
I'm going to shoot your mom in the head. I told you that's what happens when you opt out of things.
I'm gonna have to pull a Notre Dame and opt out of the podcast tonight. So now, all jokes aside, looks like it's going to be a good matchup with Pitt. I'm excited for it. Military Bowl 2 years in a row. Like Matt said, I don't have a problem with that, but I think it's going to be a good matchup with Pitt.
Yeah, as we bring in Johnny Robertson, that's one of the things I was going to mention tonight, guys. I like the fact of the convenience of the bowl. I like the fact my kids, Mackenzie asked me on Thanksgiving night, we're driving home from my sisters from Greenville back to Williamston. She said, "Dad, have they announced about the bowl yet, where we're going?" I said, "No, baby, it'll be a while." And she said, "I really want to go to the bowl game." Well, they'll be with me right after Christmas. So it works out beautifully to have a bowl game. It's not about me, but I like the fact that it gives you something to look forward to, like with all these great guys on the show. When we were able to go up there, spend time like last year. I'll tell you another thing, guys, the hospitality, and I'm not kissing anybody's butt, but the hospitality from the Military Bowl is second to none. They do a really good job. As Stevie, as a town commissioner, I love their downtown. Their downtown is to die for. I would love to have that downtown, obviously, in Williamston.
It can't beat Lasker. I mean, no way it could beat Lasker's downtown.
Okay.
I don't even know if we have a downtown.
You have a cornfield.
A what?
A cornfield.
Yeah, we've got several of those.
There you go. By the way, everybody, we will break down the bowl game and talk about that. But just quickly, I gotta ask Stevie, of everybody here watching in North Carolina, obviously Matt in Connecticut and JR up in Virginia, they both get more snow than we do, but they're calling for 2 to 3 inches up Lasker way. Stevie, have you got your milk and bread yet?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make milk sandwiches tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. They have a lot of schools already out tomorrow, so they did that.
County. Go ahead.
They did that Friday too with the schools in Northampton County. They got out for Friday, and I think we had like 2 flakes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys will get snow up your way tomorrow. But Lenoir County Schools, who we're supposed to get a rain snow mix, they're releasing tomorrow at 12:30. I'm like, why? But whatever.
Can we get Bob DeBartolome in here to do a weather report for us?
Who the hell is that?
Oh my God! You don't remember Bob DeBartolome?
WRAL.
Channel 5.
No, man. I grew up in Eastern North Carolina, not the Raleigh media market.
Well, I grew up in Eastern North Carolina. I'm not the.
No, you are. You are. We looked this up. You guys are.
I'm Virginia.
Virginia sometimes, Raleigh sometimes. Yeah, it just depends. Which makes no sense at all. Y'all should be the Greenville media market, but whatever.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Anyway, so yeah, Matt, we're I'm really worried.
What
we're
about JR? We need to introduce
Hey, thanks, Stevie. Appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
Now I had a question.
He's going to opt out for real if we don't introduce him.
No, not
Johnny
me.
Robertson, Johnny Stats. How are
What's
you,
up, fellas? Hey, Stevie, or Kyle, what's up with the weather is that tomorrow or?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay. I'll be heading down, I'll be heading through Northampton County on Wednesday. I guess it'll be clear by then.
Yeah, you'll be.
Oh, you need to stop by. You need to stop by the store.
I just might do that in Rich Square.
Yeah.
I've gone that way before. I take a different route every time. Keep it interesting. But hey, this bowl matchup, I'm pleased with it. I like that we're playing an ACC school. I was fired up for Duke, though. I mean, the ACC champion. I thought we had a shot at them, and it just didn't work out that way. But I'll take Pitt. I just hope that the game doesn't end like Pitt's last bowl game did last year. Hey, Kyle, what bowl is it that they play in Detroit? I don't know the name of it.
Oh hell! It used to be called the Motor City Bowl. Yeah. I don't know what they call it now.
It's something sports over. I don't know. Anyhow, they played Toledo in that bowl last year, and it went to 6 overtimes. I'm not ready for 6 overtimes.
It's now called the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl.
That's correct.
Oh,
yep,
wow.
You're right. That's correct. Which is a Detroit-based company. I'll take 6 overtimes if we get the same results Toledo
If we
did last
win,
year.
yeah.
If I
That's
remember right,
true.
Toledo beat Pitt last year.
They lost 48-46.
Who did, Pitt or Toledo?
Yeah, no, Pitt lost to Toledo 48-46.
Well, I
6
would keep that
overtimes.
tradition going.
Yeah, go Monica. She knew that. Pitt lost their bowl game against Toledo, but upset to play the Pirates. They lost in 6
Monica knows her stuff.
Yeah, Monica's on top of things. That's no shocker.
No doubt.
You don't have a sister out there for like Monica Stats and Johnny Stats?
It would be a team.
No doubt. I tell you what, guys, I love the matchup. And
did we say anything to Matt? Did we welcome in Semenza?
Yeah.
You did. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
All good, man.
I don't remember.
All right, yeah, Matt, I was going to ask you about that very thing. I know we can talk a lot about the matchups, but we're already hearing the players, different people, maybe the fans are, saying East Carolina, but you guys, I know, dealt with that in the Liberty Bowl '95. So the reason I bring that up is, hey, if they're going to be disrespectful to us, that's more power to our program, to have the chip on the shoulder. The team is definitely way better than, obviously 23. We didn't even make a bowl in 23 and 2-10, but our team is playing and heading in the right direction in the program.
No doubt. You're always going to hear that now, nowadays from the so-called P4 teams. They hate playing the likes of, the American Conference and whatnot. But look, you use that to your advantage. A lot of times in these bowl games, whoever wants to be there the most, that counts for a lot. We're going to be ready to play a game. I'm certain of it. And, look, Pat Narduzzi's a good coach, guys. I mean, he's going to have that team ready to play. You look at some of the things Pitt has done this year. I'll give you just some notable scores from some of their games. They did hang 53 on NC State. They won that game 53-34. They beat Georgia Tech, a very solid win, 42-28. Scored 42 points on that Georgia Tech defense, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then they also had some weeks where, maybe not quite as impressive. They had a loss to West Virginia earlier in the season, obviously blown out by Notre Dame, and then got absolutely destroyed against Miami in a home game to close out their season. So all in all, look, losing to Notre Dame and Miami is certainly it's nothing to be insulted about, but it's a very good team. They can score. I think they're well coached. We're going to need to be ready to play.
Yeah, I actually think Pitt, even though Duke is the ACC champions, I would have rather had played them because of that, because of the in-state. Pitt's a better team. I think of the two, I'd have rather played Duke. I think it would have been an easier win. Pitt's good. I wonder, how if they're going to have any players opt out. I wonder how interested they're going to be in the bowl. Their fan base is obnoxious, at least the ones on social media. They they act like we have absolutely no chance, and why should we even show up, or more so, why should they show up? They were wondering why their administration just didn't opt out and not go to a bowl rather than playing the lowly Eastern Carolina Pirates. So I hope our fans pay close attention to social media, and I didn't listen to the press conference. Dave I'm assuming Pat Narduzzi was not disrespectful like their fans, but
Not at all. In fact, the very first bowl game that he coached in was with at Pitt was a military bowl. So he talked about that. I think it was 2015, 16, like 10 years ago. So he talked about that. I brought up the fact of asked Coach Harrell about the fact today is I was getting ready to forget, and I'm glad I didn't. Today is obviously Pearl Harbor Day, so to remember the military and how special it is, we get this announcement on Pearl Harbor Day, and but yeah, he gave, it wasn't anything outrageous, and I know Matt, you had that comment. Matt, did you want to go ahead and do that while we're talking about Coach Narduzzi with about the Notre Dame comment? Do you still have that comment nearby?
Matt still here?
I don't know if Matt, we lost him. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up, Dave. You guys keep talking. I'm going to pull.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, he was very respectful. There was nothing there that like shots fired. Both coaches were on the conference call. It was a Zoom call, and if we have permission, we'll put it up on our social media.
My permission.
You do? Okay.
It was a short one too, so it won't take long to listen to it.
Yeah, like 18 minutes long. Nothing. Nobody asked questions to Steve, the head of the. I'll have to look at his name again. But anyway,
Dave, I have the comment if you want it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Well, so basically, Narduzzi was talking about, he was talking about playing Notre Dame, and I think what he was trying to do was kind of like highlight the importance of winning conference games, but some controversial statements anyway from him. He basically said, famously saying he'd gladly get beat 103-10 against Notre Dame as long as Pitt won their next 2 ACC games. So, you understand the message and the importance of winning conference games, but at the same time, and Stevie's a coach, so Stevie, I want to ask you your opinion on this, but I never want to hear my coach downplaying the importance of any game. That's almost the equivalent of like us playing NC State. And if Blake was saying something along the lines of, look, I don't care if we lose a state, 100-10, as long as we beat Memphis and North Texas. You know what I mean? It's that type of thing. So I certainly wasn't a fan of that. But Stevie, what are your thoughts on that as a coach?
What kind of message are you sending to your players? Take this game off. Don't play hard. I don't agree with it. It's stupid. You don't want to hear your coach say, as a college, as an organization, as the players, you don't want to hear your coach say, "I'd rather lose this game." You want to win every game. But then to come out and say, "I'd rather lose to them than blah blah," give me a break, dude. That's stupid. I would never do that as a coach.
And it didn't work either because they lost. They lost big time to Miami by 31 points after that game. So they lost, and then they lost again.
Yep.
Going back to that game, does anybody know? And for anybody, if you're lost in translation, we're talking about what Pat Narduzzi's comments before the Notre Dame game. Was the question preference to him? I'm assuming he just didn't just say that without, being prompted. Was the question asked to him, how important is this Notre Dame game to you? Notre Dame's top 25 team. This is a big, or did he just say it on his own without being prompted?
I don't know.
Because context matters. If he was saying, if somebody asked him how important is this game to you, blah blah blah, and he said, "Well, quite frankly, he still shouldn't have said it the way he did."
No, he shouldn't have said it.
But context does matter, and I would like to know, if that was a statement he just made on his own, or if it was the answer to a question.
I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure
I
it
haven't
could
seen the
come in the,
transcript.
Not sure
in the
about that.
context of a press conference type situation where you're talking about the importance of winning against a team like Notre Dame. So it did come in that type of a setting. Yeah. Either way, tough statement to make there. And, he's Narduzzi. He's not a wallflower. I mean, this guy, he's not afraid to bring it in his press conferences. And he'll criticize people. He'll, fairly oftentimes, but he's definitely has made some controversial statements in the past.
By the way, guys, this is like ACC football. There's a guy that says on here, this is our punishment for losing to West Virginia.
Okay.
Well, we'll see what punishment is.
We hope. Yeah, the Pitt fans are very down on this bowl and East Carolina. By the way, the line is 6. Pitt is a 6-point favorite. If I remember correctly, NC State was a 6-point favorite in that bowl last year.
That's correct.
They were.
So hopefully that is a good omen.
Who is Pitt to be down on playing us in a bowl game? I mean, who is Pitt? Just because you're in the ACC, which is not obviously not the conference it used to be with your ACC champion not even make the playoffs. But who is Pitt to be downplaying any bowl game at all, to tell you the truth? What, 4 losses this year?
Exactly, Stevie. It's a good point. We're not talking about a team that's actually, been competing.
I mean, it's not like they're 10-2.
Right. Or is very rarely in the last 30 years. So, I mean, they should be pretty happy with this bowl game.
Johnny, I mean, who was the coach back then with Pitt? Tony Dorsett ain't playing in the backfield. This ain't your national championship team.
You know what? I'm going to defend Pitt a little bit, and this is going to surprise y'all. And I don't think it's Pitt's fault. And I don't think it's because our fans are the same damn way. And we're a friggin' so-called group of 5. That group of 5, pardon my French today, bullshit, gets shoved down your throat so much that even our fans will sit there and go, I don't want to play Georgia Southern in the Myrtle Beach Bowl because you're a group of 5 phony from the Sun Belt. So how do we expect Pitt not to go, I don't want to play East Carolina, they're a group of 5 school, and we do the same crap? So until that nonsense is taken out of our vernacular, group of 5 and Power 4, and by the way, Power 4 is an illusion. It's only Power 2. It's only the Big Ten and the SEC. There's no Power 4. You've got no Power ACC. You've got none. So, but until that crap is taken out of our vernacular, I don't even really blame their fans. As much as I'm going to use it, as much as I hope our team uses it as motivation and fire, we would have the same stinking attitude if 8-4 we were sent to the Myrtle Beach Bowl to play Georgia Southern. We'd be saying the same crap. So as much as I hope we use it as motivation, I think part of it is, or the biggest part of it is ESPN and media's fault for this group of 5 narrative.
Kenneth says some of our fans would say the same thing if we're playing Western Michigan and Myrtle.
Yep. Exactly. That's exactly what I was just saying. I use Georgia Southern as an example.
Yeah. Well,
hey, I was going to throw out there, though, Tony Dorsett's coach at Pitt was future Vol legend Johnny Majors.
Johnny Majors,
and then after him, another legend, Jackie Sherrill. So those were good days at Pitt.
Yeah, when you had Dan Marino there, and then those 2 guys. Pitt was like such a powerhouse, back then. But one of the things that frustrates me when you're talking about that, Kyle, is the fact that I don't know if you guys saw last night, but definitely today when they had selection show. But I'm sorry, but these talking heads, one of the things I was telling Johnny a week or 2 ago is that we're not talking heads. We're actually guys that have different reasons why we love the Pirates. Obviously, Matt played. I know Stevie's been a fan for many, many years, and he's a high school coach. You have Kyle, who became a fan in the early 90s.
No, when I was 13 years old.
Okay, but and Johnny's like amazing with fans, but to act like that the group of 5 doesn't belong in the playoff is outrageous. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I will say this. Nick Saban, and thank you, Conan 92 Pirate. He said he hates Nick Saban's face. For him to have the audacity, our people in college football are clueless about growing college football. And it makes me angry because Kyle's made this point, so I'm not going to steal his comment, but he's made the point of how can ESPN allow their broadcasters to put down a conference like the American who, wait for it, they actually they have our games. We go through ESPN and ESPN Plus. We're part of that package, that TV deal. So we're part of their product. So I just have a problem with them being so snooty. They want to get rid of the championship games now, and they want to get rid of this and that. And, it's just frustrating for me because.
Well, I didn't watch the whole thing. It was Saban. I'm assuming it was Saban.
Yes, all of them. But Saban was one that he wants to get rid of the group of 5 basically in the playoffs.
Okay, how many people would get excited about the NCAA basketball tournament if we didn't invite any of the teams outside of the power conferences? It'd be boring. Nobody wants to see that.
Somebody, either Tulane or James Madison, and it's hard to beat a team twice, and Tulane goes to Ole Miss. Ole Miss already played them once this year. Somebody needs to win one of these playoff games, and that'll shut some people up.
I agree, Kyle.
That'll shut some people up. But no, look, here's the deal. I hate this term. So-called group of 5 should not be shut out of the playoff. If they want to change the language to say the 4 Power 4 champions get in, and then one champion from the group of 6 gets in, if they want to reword it that way, whatever. But they should not completely exclude us. I think there's probably going to be talk now of going to 24, and if they go to 24, then there should be 2 spots to the so-called group of 6, and it will be group of 6 when the Pac-12 joins. But to completely exclude us, to me, would be a lawsuit. I think you would have to have a lawsuit, and then a caveat. I think Saban said there should be a caveat that our champion has to be in the top 12 or at least top 15. I heard him say that not today, but I don't know if he said it today or not, but it was previous. Well, I mean, why is that caveat not on everybody? I mean,
well, and let me throw this at you too, Kyle. And think about it. Think about it from this perspective too, right? Not already. Okay, the P4, they will not play in your stadium. All right. And I don't mean that just for East Carolina. How often do you see an SEC team or a Big Ten team travel to anyone outside the P4? So you don't get them on your home field. If you're going to play them during the season, it's either going to be, maybe at a neutral site somewhere if you're lucky, but most likely in their building, like we're going to Alabama next year. You have everything stacked against you. You're always going to play them on the road, and now they want to exclude you. And I'll tell you guys, I'm just being straight up. This format will not last. There's just too many voices against inclusion of anyone outside the P4. And, Saban today was beating the drum. Danny Cannell was beating the drum. They're not going to let this stand. Like the fact that JMU and Tulane are in the playoff, they will never, ever let that stand. I call it the good old boys club of college football.
And there's
that's why I think somebody's got to win. And if Tulane does beat Ole Miss, guess where their next game would be?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
Sugar Bowl, New Orleans.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Indiana? No.
No, I think they get
that's
Georgia.
Alabama.
I think they get Georgia.
Yeah, that sounds right, Kyle. Yeah, here's another thing Kenneth's putting up. They want to have where we have our own playoff. And for me, I'm going to tell you something right now. I told Johnny this the other night, if they break away like they're talking to, I will never watch those games again. And I can tell you that right now. I will have no use for them. And so they need to think about all the eyeballs that they think they're so cocky and arrogant. They think that the people will still watch. And they have no idea that most people won't watch them. Some people will, but most won't.
I don't know, D. I'll give you another. American sports fans have proven that you can spit in their face and they will continue. I mean, look at what the NFL has done on many occasions with political messaging. Even this year, going as so far as having a guy like Bad Bunny as your halftime performer, in my opinion, which is very controversial. Some of the statements he's made. NFL fans, you can spit in their face and they're going to continue watching football every week. So I don't know. I'll tell you, like, I agree with you, Dave. I'm just like you. I wouldn't watch it. I would give it up in a heartbeat. But I think 9 out of 10 fans would continue to watch it.
Well, what I want to know is, and I think the problem with this whole thing, is you put it on the shoulders of the ACC. I think if it was just Tulane if the ACC had the correct metric for their tiebreaker and you'd have had UVA and Miami in the championship game, this wouldn't be really being discussed right now. The problem is that there's 2 so-called group of 5 teams in the playoffs.
But
so you really put this on the ACC.
Here's the deal. It's very simple. All you have to do is go to 24 teams, like Kyle was saying. You have 9 conferences right now?
It'll be 10 starting next year.
10. Okay, so you put the 10 in. 10 conference champions.
Oh, they're not going to do that.
Oh, they won't do it. But I'm just saying,
I'd be happy go to 24 and give the 4 so-called Power 4 conference champions a spot, and then give the group of 6 2 spots, and then the other. So 22 out of 24 spots would go to the Power 4. They're
not going to do that though, because here's the problem they have. They don't.
I'm not sure. I think that, dude. I think they know with the way things have happened with lawsuits and NIL and all that kind of crap. I think they know that they would lose the class action lawsuit. I think that's why it's written out like the way it is now. And I think unless they truly break away and we form 3 divisions of Division I, we have FBS, whatever the hell we would be, and then FCS or Power 5, Group of 5, FCS. Unless it's truly 3 divisions, I don't think they can truly exclude us without a lawsuit, and I think they know that.
They can't. And guess what? They would do, and I was telling Johnny, okay, I can't talk about my team this year in the pros because they're god-awful and a lot of injuries. But every team, if you win ball games in the NFL and you win enough ball games and you win your division or the wild card, you get in. Okay? There's a clear path. The sad thing is that right now, even with all the stuff we have going on right now, they're going to do everything they can to make sure that it has to be Alabama in every year. They didn't get in last year, but that was a miracle. Somehow that didn't happen. But they want to make sure it's a made-for-TV event to keep it that way, and they want to make sure that, I don't feel bad for Notre Dame at all. They had a chance. They could have gone 12-0. They could have gone 11-1. They're not in a conference. I don't feel bad for them at all. What I feel bad about is there's a lot of fans out there that if you had the conference champions, those games, you want to talk about viewerships, I would watch a lot more of the college games because all of a sudden those games really matter. Like the different conferences of the Group of 5 or even the so-called Power 4, I would be watching more of those games, random games. Let me see who's going to win this game. But the problem with our people that we have in college football, we have the wrong people running college football. NFL is always going to be king. NFL is number 1. You know why? Because you have the idiots and morons of college football who they can't get it out of their way. They have to have it. They have to have it rigged. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. They have to have it rigged.
I don't know how rigged it is. I actually thought I watched the UVA Duke game. I didn't watch much of the Ohio State game because I didn't really care. And I was thinking that UVA was going to get, some questionable calls go their way just to, help ensure that the ACC got a team in. But it didn't happen, really. I mean, it was a well-officiated game. But I truly believe if Virginia won that game, then I don't think Miami gets in over Notre Dame. I think that they just had to have an ACC team in there. 100%. And then Miami, the fact that they were behind last week in the polls and they jumped them, but neither team played a game. Like Notre Dame was 9 and they were 10, and then neither team played a game, but they somehow jumped them. And why didn't the committee just last week, speaking of running things badly, Dave, why didn't the NCAA see this possibility coming and say, hey man, just to be safe, we should really flip those 2 teams so that if Virginia doesn't win, it doesn't look like we're, just moving a team that didn't play ahead of a team. The whole system needs to be redone.
Do you think two things on this? First, I'll make this point. Notre Dame declined in a bowl game, and I know a lot of people were hard on Notre Dame for that, and I guess rightfully so. But I do have a question about this. Notre Dame brings a lot of eyeballs to the TV, and I wonder if the reason they declined the bowl game was as a middle finger to ESPN, because whatever bowl game they were going to go to, most likely was going to be on ESPN or ABC. So I wonder if they did it as a middle finger to ESPN, because I'm going to tell you, when I watched that preview show, everybody go back and watch the preview show over again if you DVR'd it or if you can find it. I don't archived or whatever. I watched, up to the point where the seating was announced, and I turned it off because I didn't care about hearing everybody's opinion. I read between the lines of what was being said, and I told Jessica, my wife, I said Notre Dame's going to get left out, Alabama and Miami's going to get in. I figured it out just reading between the lines about what was being said. I think that I don't think it's rigged, so to speak, but I think that you can kind of figure out what's going to happen by the way those guys are talking in that room before the committee announces anything. If you pay attention, you can read between the lines.
It's manipulated maybe a little bit, Kyle, maybe not rigged, but okay. So somebody asked Hunter Yurachek, who was the committee chair, how did that happen? I mean, they were, to their credit, there were some journalists asking hard questions to the committee. And Yurachek said, I can tell you, I have an answer for that. We made everybody that's voting rewatch the Miami Notre Dame game because that was early in the season.
It was on loop.
And we wanted everyone to get a refresher. So we made them rewatch that entire game. And then after they did that, everyone's consensus was, Miami's better.
JR, they on the ACC network, they showed that game on loop like 3 or 4 times in a row on the ACC network the other day.
Well, why didn't they have them rewatch Alabama, Florida State?
Guess who lost?
That's what I mean.
No, I don't agree with Alabama not being left out. I feel like Alabama is not one of the top 10 teams in the country. There is no way, not how they played the last 3 or 4 games. But I'm
totally with you, JR.
But they're in they made the SEC championship. So, I mean, if you're going to punish a team for losing the championship game when Texas A&M and Mississippi and Oklahoma didn't have to play in it and they couldn't move down, then you can't have conference championship games anymore. You got to do one or the other. So, but I was surprised that they didn't move them to 10. They kept them at 9. That surprised me because now, they're favored going into Oklahoma. They're having a rematch with Oklahoma in Norman. And Miami's got the tougher assignment. They got to go to Kyle Field at Texas A&M. That place is going to be insane. So,
what is Oklahoma's record?
They're a 2-loss team. They're 10-2.
Who do they lose to?
Okay, they lost to Texas.
Yeah.
They lost to Texas and I think Mississippi.
Okay, I just haven't been overly impressed with Oklahoma, and I've watched them play this year.
They've been a quiet team to be.
Yeah, so to me, that's who I would have left out and put in Notre Dame. I mean, honestly.
Well, defensively, they're outstanding. I think
they are.
Brent Venables.
Yeah, offensively, they're a little challenged, and the team that I really wanted to see get in. I didn't mean to cut you off, Kyle, if I did, but I really wanted to see Vandy get in. That's a team that's. I mean, it's questionable. Are they on the fringe? I think they're a playoff team. I think they're that good. What they're doing down there with Pavia. Yeah. It's a fun team to watch. That was one I would have liked to see get in, but
I was just going to say, Matt, don't worry, because apparently he's going to try to get another year of eligibility. So, you might be able to see him again next year. I've had my fill of him, to be honest with you.
He's like 35, isn't he?
Yeah. I've had my fill. Because, Vanderbilt, it's a disservice to the other guys on that team. That's a talented team with a great coach. but all anyone ever talks about is Diego Pavia and his mom. I mean, that's all we hear about, and I'm tired of it. So I hope Vandy does well when he leaves, but I've had enough of him personally.
It shows you how much I pay attention to the SEC. What the hell does Diego Pavier's mom have to do with anything?
Oh my goodness. They can't stop showing her on camera, and she's dating. Who the hell was she dating, Matt?
Is she hot? I mean,
well, there was something happened earlier in the year. Who's the podcaster? He's incredibly
with the long hair.
famous. Yeah,
I know.
He was on Game Day one time this year.
Kyle from
funny guy. He's funny.
Kyle from LaGrange. Yeah. Well, exactly.
He said funny, Kyle.
He made a comment of something that if Vandy beat Vandy beat Alabama, that he would take his mom on a date or something.
Oh, Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn. There you go. I couldn't pull it.
Yeah, I love that podcast he did with the Amish dude. That's one of the greatest. You want some podcasting gold? Find that episode of Theo Vaughn with the Amish dude. That's great stuff.
I agree.
Matt, did I cut you off that time?
No, sorry. I was coughing my head off over here.
Hey, before we move on, Matt, I'm sorry. I think I just cut you off. In regards to, before we stop talking about Vanderbilt, their AD, he's saying, don't worry. This rev sharing is turning the tables, and we're going to be relevant for the foreseeable future because we're in this game now. And it's leveling the field. Other people thought that rev sharing was going to have further separation, but according to Clark Lee and his AD, they're going to be around for a long time, and they're going to be just as relevant as Alabama. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens or not.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of revenue from the SEC, I mean, in terms of creating your own revenue, somebody's got their notifications on it. It sounds like there's an explosion every few minutes in the background. Anyway. In terms of revenue sharing from the conference itself, Alabama's going to get this. Vanderbilt's going to get the same thing SEC. Jesus Christ. Vanderbilt's going to get the same thing Alabama does or LSU does in terms of revenue sharing from within the conference revenue. And there's a lot of money coming straight from the SEC. So I think it does even the field. Now, Alabama will create more revenue on their own. But in terms of the biggest piece of the pie, it comes from your conference revenue. And I do think within the conference itself, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, or the American, I do think it kind of evens the playing field within your conference.
It does, and especially with the cap. I mean, it's a $20 million hard cap, right?
It is with revenue sharing, yes.
Right.
But you can have NIL deals after that on your own. They just have to go through a clearinghouse.
Right.
See Texas Tech on that one.
Which are my understanding is that those are
you're
a
right,
lot harder to come by now. But yeah, I mean, it's essentially a salary cap like you see in the NFL and the NBA, and that's where you get parity. That's where you get competition across the entire league. It's really a salary cap. So yeah, Vanderbilt's going to be far more competitive. And that's the way it should be, man. Everybody should have a chance to compete. This is America. I mean, college football has been the most un-American sport that there is. College basketball is the opposite. Everybody gets an opportunity. That's why people love it, not college football.
No doubt. And by the way, Matt, you want to talk about a school that they had their eyes opened up, and that's Vanderbilt, because they haven't paid attention like Duke and the ACC finally did. But Vanderbilt was another one that they were not putting money towards sports, athletics, maybe baseball, the only one. But then all of a sudden now that school has a lot of money. They have a lot of cash. And they
sounded like Donald Trump right then, Dave. I'm glad to hear that.
You're fired.
I did, Kyle, a little bit.
A lot of cash.
But anyway, so they
Kyle, was that your Trump man? We got to hear that one.
There's a lot of money. Matt's the greatest. He's the greatest linebacker to ever play at East Carolina. He's the best.
Love it.
Yeah. But anyway, my point is they finally realized, oh, wait a minute. If we take the money that we have and put it in athletics, I mean, they got a beautiful campus. They have plenty. I mean, I don't even know what the what their endowment is, but it's ridiculous. Matt, do you know, or does anybody know their endowment? But it's ridiculous. But they have plenty of money. There,
The Vandy?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
the
well
Vanderbilt
endowed,
family.
Kyle.
I mean, just look at the name. The Vanderbilt family is one of the richest families in
Yeah.
American history.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, but you know what? I'll say this, and as we sit here and we go on and on about the playoffs and the SEC and the Vanderbilt, and we're in East Carolina podcast when we have a bowl game, and we've barely talked about the bowl. We've been sitting here talking about the playoffs and the SEC. We're just as bad as ESPN and the rest of them.
Well, yeah, no doubt.
We got 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But
yeah, let's talk. I'm ready to talk about it, Kyle.
Go for
All
it.
right.
Yeah, let's
Go ahead. Go ahead, JR.
Well,
No, I didn't mean like. Well, I was just going to say that Matt mentioned that they did lose at West Virginia, but they have a freshman quarterback, Mason Heinschel, and after Game 4, Pitt was 2-2, including that loss at West Virginia, and they went to him as the starter. He reeled off 5 wins in a row. And, they beat Boston College and NC State. Now, they pounded NC State, as Matt said, at home. And then they went on the road at Tallahassee, at Syracuse. And those, no matter how those teams are, those are hard places to play normally. And then they had to do that East Coast, West Coast thing and play at Stanford. And they won that game easily. They averaged 40 points a game on offense over those 5 wins. And then, they had the 2 losses to Notre Dame and Miami, sandwiched with a Georgia Tech win. So they finished strong after they switched to Heinschel, and he's only a freshman, so he's not going to be opting out of this bowl, I don't think. And so it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, their OC, who is the head coach at Western Carolina's son, he is coming up for a lot of other OC jobs. I don't know if he's going to leave Pitt, but his name is coming up for a lot of other jobs. So that's something to watch out for in the coming days, if he'll still be there. But as we, like JR said, 3 weeks to break down this, game with Pitt. But how many? I know we all made the trip to Annapolis last year, except for Stevie. But in terms of listeners, just curious from our listeners, how many made the trip to Annapolis last year? How many of our listeners are planning on going this year? And if you're planning on going this year, did you go last year? I mean, last year was such an incredible experience, beating NC State, the bowl parade, everything, except maybe the weather about that trip last year was fantastic. It's a first class bowl game in terms of how it's ran. Annapolis is a great little city. And if you're going up there from Eastern North Carolina and you want to avoid, as a tip, I was trying to remember this. JR, thanks for the help with that. But here's a tip: if you're coming up from Eastern North Carolina and you want to avoid the DC area and just go straight into Annapolis, and your GPS, put in oh God, now I can't think.
La Plata, Maryland, or Waldorf, Maryland. It's exit 104, Carmel Church, Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And you head east, obviously.
Yeah, put in La Plata or Waldorf, or what you do is put in Annapolis with a stop in La Plata or Waldorf, and that'll take you going. Once you get north of Richmond, you'll go east, and you'll avoid the DC area. So for anybody traveling up, it's a very relaxing drive. We enjoyed it last year quite a bit, and just the drive up, you get to see a lot of the country in rural Virginia and rural Maryland, and so just curious. So our listeners, how many people went last year and how many people will be going this year that went last year?
I did have, by the way, I want Matt, I want to get your comments and the guys chime in on this. I got a message from one of our listeners and viewers from, this is not that person, but it was a Pirate fan in general, said, I'm a season ticket holder and I've been for years, and there's no way I would spend 1 penny of this piece of a matchup. Pitt accepting this invite is basically saying, we agree, we are a pathetic program. They can't do any better. This is a Pirate fan. So
Pirate fan?
I would dispute
that. Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make.
It sounds like it's written from
a Pirate fan, Dave?
No. It's a Pirate fan that we all know. that sent me. This was on Twitter.
Oh,
he didn't write it.
a Pirate
No, he
fan
didn't
didn't write it. No, I thought. I
It
thought,
is a
okay.
pirate. It is a pirate fan that we know that another pirate wrote this on Twitter.
Yeah, I know the Pirate fan that sent it to you because he sent it to me too.
Okay.
But I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I don't think that was a Pirate fan that wrote that.
Okay.
I think that guy could have been cosplaying as a Pirate fan, but that comment doesn't even make any sense.
No. It's got
from a
troll
pirate
written
fan.
all over it.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. Why would the wording of that doesn't make sense? Put up change the subject just briefly. Put up Kenneth Maynard's comment. What do you guys think of that? JMU's been consistently good.
Yeah.
We don't have the Virginia market. It would be a regional rival for East Carolina. I actually like that idea.
I do too.
I said it 2 years ago because I've
No, you
watched
didn't, JR. We're
JMU.
trying to say Kenneth.
Yeah, no. I'm going to go find it. I'll text it to you. Hey, no, seriously, I've been watching JMU, and here's the funny thing. I rooted for them at first because I knew people that went there, and when they were FCS and we were FBS, it was okay if they were winning championships. But now that they're FBS, they're on a rapid rise, facility wise, team wise, and I think that if they were in our conference, it would be a huge asset, and it would make for better travel and scheduling, everything.
Well,
Yeah, let's kick Charlotte out and put them to the Sun Belt and just trade them.
Amen.
Yeah, we're at 13 members for football, right? That was supposed to be 14.
Matt's gonna be upset with you, Kyle, because
No, I hated the idea of, you guys know, I mean, I've talked about this for 5 years. The idea of putting Charlotte in was just a disgrace. I would have went with App State way before Charlotte because, and not to get off too far into this topic, but ESPN gets so obsessed with media markets. Like I guess Charlotte, they wanted that media market, just like the Big Ten apparently wanted Rutgers because they thought they would capture the New York market. But look, I'm all about game day atmosphere. I'm about proud programs with tradition. Charlotte had none. App did. JMU, obviously, like JR mentioned, a program that's rapidly on the rise and
how about
doing
this?
great things.
Yeah, JMU, Liberty, and App would be. I don't know if I want to go that heavy into this area. I mean, good God.
It's a complete restructuring.
Yeah, but I would like JMU of those three to drop. Man,
Rice.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what. UAB is just. I really thought when they reformed and got that new stadium in downtown Birmingham, and UAB has a little bit of name recognition, and then didn't they hire their friggin' offensive or defensive coordinator to be their new head coach?
Yeah.
I mean, after they were horrible this year, and then he really didn't do anything as interim. He upset Memphis without their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what kind of commitment they have to football. And at some point, I thought the UAB ad wasn't bad when it was first made.
Right.
But unless Bill Clark's, and not to be confused with our Bill Clark, but unless their Bill Clark's going to come back, I think UAB's hot garbage.
Yeah.
Well, they do have the nicest indoor practice facility in the country, probably, Kyle. So I think they're.
Yeah, I mean, for picnics.
It's a shelter, right, Matt? It's a shelter.
Correct.
It's a weird looking building, man. If you ever see it in person, it's essentially, it's a that's exactly a good way to put it. It's a shelter with with a 50-foot high ceiling with no sidewalls. Very interesting design.
I was looking into it to have for our next family reunion. I thought about renting it out.
Wow. You're going
Hey, talking about JMU, before we get rid of JMU, I just want to say that the AD that hired Mickey Matthews and Mike Houston and Kurt Signetti and Bob Chesney, all of them were like just home runs, grand slams. He retired. So the new guy, this is his first hire, is Billy Napier. What do y'all think about that?
I think Billy Napier will be fine there. I don't think he'll take them to the heights that they're at now. Can he sustain it? I don't know. I do think that AD was incredible. He did an incredible job at JMU. Just home run hire after home run hire. Even Mike Houston there.
Was good.
Yeah, there. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Napier, he had success at Louisiana. He wasn't horrible at Florida. Well, I guess he was.
Let's ask Matt.
I don't know, man. That hasn't been what they've been doing. They've been hiring up and coming coaches from the FCS, and it's worked for them. And I don't know why you would change what you're doing when what you're doing has been working. They've done it. It was Chesney. Was he an FCS coach before they hired him?
Yeah, he was at he was at Holy Cross where he had a lot of success.
Yeah,
So there you go. Correct. I remember now. So why change what you're doing? You hired Mike Houston from the Citadel. You hired Signetti from Elon, and you hired Chesney from Elon or from Holy Cross. So why change what you're doing? You've had a pattern of hiring successful FCS coaches, bringing them up, even when they were FCS, JMU. And now what you do is you hire a guy who is a retread from an FBS. When you have a pattern of success, when what you're doing is working, why change it? Why wouldn't you find whoever the best FCS coach is out there right now and hire him?
Matt, I wanted to ask you about, because Chrissy, his wife, went to Florida, but for me personally, I think Napier, great coach, and then, well, I'll say not great, I'll say good coach. Let me change that. He goes to Florida. He has a tough time. And to Kyle's point, I mean, when you look at Napier, was that a hire because people knew his name, and so they just said, "Hey, we can get this guy Billy Napier," but not knowing that is he really going to work out there in Harrisonburg?
Well,
the question with Napier is, what is he?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, JR. Go ahead.
No. I'm gonna segue to you. I'm gonna do a short segue to you by just saying that
go for it.
This season was a little bit unusual, bizarre, actually. That I think there's probably some coaches that didn't get fired that normally would, just because the pool of coaches is very thin this year. So yeah, that's more of a reason to go with an FCS guy.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, no doubt about it. It's a thin pool. And, I think the thing with Napier is, what does he have left on his fastball? I mean, he was tremendous before he took the Florida job. His record was as good as any young coach in the country. He got beat up for the last 3 years. I mean, beat up down in Gainesville. Is it best for a coach like that? I think sometimes you take a year off, you get away from it, you come back with a fresh perspective. What does he have left on his fastball? I mean, he's just jumping right back into the fire at JMU. That's a tough job to take. I mean, you don't want to take that job, in my opinion, when you're at the pinnacle. You want to take a JMU when coming off a 5-win season. You're now taking that over off of a playoff appearance. There's only one way to go if you're Billy Napier with that program, and it's pretty much down, in my opinion. So it's an interesting hire. I guess time will tell.
My guess is the AD's thoughts were probably Napier can come in and stabilize this thing. It's already at a high level. He knows how to win at the Sun Belt. He can come in and just kind of keep it going. And we don't have to – maybe the AD's thought also was we need a guy who's going to be here long-term, not looking to move on. But when you've had coaches moving on and you've just consistently replaced them, it's not a concern. This AD maybe is not as confident as their previous AD in making hire after hire. Because, again, I go back to what I said. When you have a history of hiring FCS coaches and it working there, I don't know why you would stop doing that. Just hire the, whoever. I haven't followed the FCS as closely this year. But I don't know. That's JMU's problem, not ours. Napier's not a bad coach. It's not like I think he's going to go there and go 2-10. But it is, to your point, Matt. He's got a lot of expectations to live up to. They're coming off of going through the playoffs as he's taking them over, and that's the height of college football success. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that works out, but time will tell, so to speak. Hey guys, other American Bowl games. Of course, the Pirates and Pitt in Pittsburgh, or excuse me, Indianapolis. Another one of interest: Memphis and NC State playing down in Tampa. You got Navy taking on Cincinnati in the Liberty Bowl. What else? What else from the Americans stuck out to you guys? South Florida's taking on Old Dominion in the Cure Bowl. What else is there?
Army is in Fenway, correct?
Army and Fenway against Connecticut against your UConn
Yeah.
Huskies.
That was one of the ones I was going to ask you about, Matt. Obviously, you're going to be with us at the UC Bowl game, but I feel like it's a really good matchup.
I think so too. I mean, I guess the only thing with like UConn is who's coaching their program right now with Mora gone, and are you able to put forth a good month of work and be prepared for a game? Because Army's going to be ready no matter what. I guess that's my big question with it. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good matchup here. If you live in the Northeast, I mean, you don't get Alabama versus Georgia up here, so it's not bad.
You got FIU taking on UTSA and some bowl. I know they're playing in a bowl. Who did North Texas? North Texas in the New Mexico Bowl. Who are they playing?
I haven't seen that one, to be honest.
I do know they're in the New Mexico Bowl. I'm not sure who they're playing though.
Bubba's listening. He could probably chime in with that one.
Yeah.
Or Texas.
Yes, sir. Do you have it, Stevie?
I'm looking right now.
Okay. Yeah, I like what Kenneth said. He likes the American Bowl chances favorable matchup. San Diego State.
Oh, wow. That's a good game.
Yeah.
That is a good game and a good location.
Hey.
Is that all the American Bowl teams, or are we leaving somebody out?
Rice. We're leaving out the Rice 5 and 7 Rice Owls.
Yeah, they get in because of APR. Where are they going?
I care so little that I couldn't really tell you. They're playing Texas State. That's what they're doing. They're playing Texas State. That's right. In Fort Worth.
That's gross. Look, one thing we know about Rice is their fan base does travel like crazy. So expect a raucous environment down in Fort Worth.
State in the First Responders Bowl. By the way, Kenny has Matt, you might be able to answer this question. I'm going to throw this to Matt. Kenny's asking where the Tar Heels playing. North Carolina, Chapel Bill. Where are they playing, Matt?
They're playing in the toilet bowl in their homes.
Oh my gosh, let's see. Kenneth says USF ODU will be a good matchup. Absolutely.
That is a good matchup.
I think they did a really good job with overall with the bowl matchups. Is there a bowl matchup? I'll ask you guys, are there bowl matchups that you go, oh, wow, this is a terrible matchup?
Well, I just wanted to say, Dave, to your point, I think you're absolutely right. The bowl matchups are really good this year, only based on the point spreads. There's a lot of 2.5, 3.5. I mean, over half of the games are like 3-point spreads. So they're very good matchups. South Florida is favored by 7 over Old Dominion, but Byron Brown, well, you know what? That game's the 17th, though. So that game's coming up quick. So they'll probably have their full team, but I don't know. I have a feeling Byron Brown is not going to be a bowl next year.
There's a lot of, and guys, there's a lot of 5 and 7. I'm looking here really quick. 5 and 7 teams that turn down bowls. Florida State, Auburn, CF, Baylor, and Rutgers all turned down bowls. 5 and 7 teams.
Well, they were probably just ashamed to take a bowl game.
Yeah, 5 and 7. I mean, that's kind of an embarrassment to get into a bowl game.
Mississippi State,
but it's good for practice. They get extra practices. They get their kids get to go to a bowl game. I don't know. I would take one if I was 5 and 7.
Yeah, remember 2015, Confer turned that down. We were going to get invited to a bowl, and we were one of the first ones up. And Confer turned it down. They fired Ruff, and he turned down the bowl. Do you remember that in 2015?
Okay, no, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I remember being rumored. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but it was talked about.
We had the chance to go, and
I remember being talked about, Dave. I remember the bowl, the Cure Bowl, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that was true or not because it's based on APR. So I think it would have been a situation where some other people would have had to turn it down. But who cares? That was a decade ago. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Of all the teams that turned down bowls at 5 and 7, the only one that surprises me is UCF. Did not expect to hear the UCF turn down a bowl, particularly knowing the Big 12 was angry that two bowl eligible teams turned it down or got fined. You would have thought maybe UCF would have, being one of the new kids on the block in the Big 12, would have stepped up and accepted that bowl invitation. But interesting that they didn't. Maybe it was monkey see, monkey do. Well, if 2 6-6, or no, 1 6-6, and then I guess 1 8-4 Iowa State. It's really surprising with Iowa State going 8-4. I know Matt Campbell's not being there, and the program's kind of concentrating on who they're going to hire. But a little surprised with the season they had that they turned down a bowl.
No doubt. And again, if you're just joining us, I love the line of about Notre Dame. ESPN is not going to get those eyeballs on. There's some fans on, man. They were just ripping, the CFP apart. And again, I think what we're saying again, join a conference, Big Ten, ACC, somebody join a conference, because this might happen on the regular, unless you go 12-0. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, unless Notre Dame, like, if you have a situation like this again, they may be outside looking in.
Yeah, screw Notre Dame. I'm happy to kind of see them get humbled here a little bit because, there were several times when the playoff was only a 14 playoff where they got in, and you could make an argument that they were not worthy of getting in, and it worked.
And they
for
proved
them
it, Matt.
years. What's that?
And then they proved it by getting blown out.
Yeah, exactly. So, it worked against them this year, and you know what? That's the way it goes. But I do get tired of this. We are bigger than college football at Notre Dame attitude. No, join a conference like everybody else, play by the same rules as everybody else, play in a conference championship. So I don't feel sorry for them at all. I actually love to see them crying tonight. It's actually really enjoyable.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
But
Speaking
guys,
there's a lot of money.
Yeah. I do want to take it back for a minute to ECU guys, because look, tons of questions for us in this bowl game. I mean, let's just kind of think about what's going on right now. Obviously, John David Baker being rumored to, a few schools right now. If he is to take a job in the next week with an Ole Miss, I'm just throwing out Ole Miss, for example. It looks like Virginia Tech maybe is going in another direction. Will he coach in the bowl game? Who knows, right? If he does take another job, will Katin Houser then follow him? Would he play in the bowl game? We don't know that. If Katin Houser doesn't play, who's the quarterback for us against Pitt? I mean, these are legitimate questions right now that we don't have the answers to. I think we really need to kind of break that down. I mean, you look at the point spread right now, that thing could fluctuate in a million different ways based on what happens with ECU.
If he goes to Ole Miss, which, we've been told that that's where he's going, we'll see. But Ole Miss has their quarterback, who's a sophomore, who was their freshman, sophomore, whatever the hell he was, who was their starter, got injured. He's still on the team unless he decides to enter the portal. And then their senior quarterback, who was a D2 transfer who started the last several games, he's trying to get another year of eligibility. If he gets it, the question is he staying at Ole Miss or is he going to LSU? But they could potentially have two quarterbacks with starting experience coming back. I think the odds of Houser staying go up if it's Ole Miss and not Virginia Tech. I think with Virginia Tech, I think Houser would, although you hear Franklin saying he's going to bring in another quarterback anyway. So I don't know. I spoke with some people that say that as long as we can get the money where we talk about we're going to get it to, that Houser is more than likely to stay. So, that's important. We need Houser. And then to Matt's point, if JDB does leave, will he call games in the bowl? If he doesn't, who will? Will it be Matt Maddox? Will it be our tight ends coach?
Do you let him call the game, Kyle?
Yes,
There you go, Matt.
Yes, I do.
I do.
Yeah, I would.
I would, because if he's leaving, particularly if he's leaving for Ole Miss. If he's leaving for Virginia Tech, maybe not. But if he's leaving for Ole Miss, yes, we don't recruit against Ole Miss. It's not a regional rivalry. You can understand going back to Ole Miss where you were coaching at. You're going to be making, who knows, probably around $2 million as the OC. I don't think there's any ill will for that. If he wants to and he's focused, and Ole Miss doesn't need him right now, they're in the playoff. I would think. Yeah. I actually, in terms of perfect situation, he stays. But if not, Ole Miss is pretty busy right now. I actually think that works out pretty well. He just stays here, keeps doing what he's doing, let Ole Miss do what they're doing, and then after he's done and we're done, or they're done and we're done, then he goes over there. So yeah, I think particularly if it is Ole
They have
Miss,
Charlie
yeah, you
Weiss
let him
Jr.
stay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Charlie Weiss
Hey,
Jr. came back
the
to the
Virginia
ball game.
Tech thing, if you look at message boards, the Virginia Tech thing has some legs to it, but it makes no sense to me. I mean, Virginia Tech, to me, their identity is a dual threat quarterback. I mean, going all the way back to the Vic brothers. I mean, that's what they're known for. And then they had that 1 year with, not the 1 year, but the one short area where they had Glennon as their quarterback, a pro style. Well, Virginia Tech's prize recruit this year that Franklin recruited to Penn State, and now he flipped him to Virginia Tech, and he loves this guy. He's a pro style quarterback. He's not a dual threat. I just don't see where, if that's his guy for the future, that doesn't fit JDB's profile. So I just don't think he's going to Virginia Tech.
Hey,
what that
Dave.
means?
Yes.
Dave, put Kenny Curlin's latest comment up here.
ECU and
How
83
about-
for Ed Emery got left out of a bowl when Notre Dame got in at 6-5. I've always hated them.
Yeah.
83 team lost by like a total amount in 3 games. The 3 games they lost by like 14 points against Florida teams.
Yep.
Florida State and Miami.
Yep.
No doubt.
That was all 3 losses, and had a nice win over Missouri and NC State that year. I had a point I wanted to make.
My bad.
No, you're good,
Follow
dude.
up on JDB to Virginia Tech, Kyle. Was that what you were talking about?
Yeah, it was related to John David Baker. Hold on, and it'll come back to me. You guys go ahead, and I'll come back to that.
Hey, Matt, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I wanted to put this at you. I'm going to play devil's advocate, not at you, Matt. I'm just saying I know there's a possibility that with the
Dave, I have it. I'm sorry. We're talking about JDB, so I wanted to get this in. There is talks. It's not a done deal yet. I thought it was, but there's talks that South Carolina is going to hire TCU offensive coordinator Kendall Briles. So if Kendall leaves TCU, I wonder if that's somebody else that would have interest in JDB. Him being a Texas boy. I heard, somebody was saying, Johnny, was it you saying that you wanted to get back down to Texas?
No, I didn't say that, but why on earth would Kendall Briles do that? I mean, that's like a dead man walking at coaching South Carolina. I mean, it's unless he's thinking he could be the head coach next year, in 2 years. I don't know.
It could be that him and Gary Patterson are not Gary Patterson. Good God, Sonny Dykes aren't getting along anymore. Who knows? And it wasn't you. It wasn't JR. It wasn't you that said he wanted to get back to Texas. Who the hell was it that was saying he wanted to get back to Texas?
It makes sense, Kyle. I mean, you can definitely see him wanting to get back into his home state for sure. And his style, his style of offense fits for sure at TCU. High octane, up tempo. It does make a lot of sense. I see where you're going with that. It's logical. I mean, I think it's a pretty good fit. I think it seems like a better fit than Virginia Tech to me.
Pure speculation on my part. I mean, that has not come up to anybody, but I'm just saying if Kendall does leave, because that is being speculated, then I'm telling you what, if I'm Southern Mississippi, Kendall Briles is on my head coaching list. They got to replace
Charles Huff.
Yeah, and Kendall is somebody that you forget being OC. If I was Southern Miss, I'd be thinking about him as head coach.
No doubt. Hey, Matt, we talk about obviously we know that there's a chance he could leave, but I'm going to be like Johnny Robertson here. There's a chance he could stay, and I can make the case. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm not naive or pie in the sky on this. I know that he could leave, but there's an argument I can make that he'll stay, and here's why. Hauser's happy here. If he gets the money like we think he's going to get, which I'm not going to talk about how much I'm hearing in respect to the administration. But I will say that if what I've been told, and I know you guys have heard also, if if Hauser stays, then the whole offense stays. Well, if you have JDB and the whole offense staying, I know there's a chance he could leave, but I also can argue that he could stay.
Yeah, and look, I certainly hope that JDB stays. I really do. I think he's done a good job here. I don't think he's done a great job. I think he still has progression to make as a coach. I think, our offense is still, we have a lot to learn offensively. We still cannot play it without false starts. There are a lot of things we can do to continue to improve this offense. And I think he's done a very admirable job at East Carolina. Now, whether he's ready for an Ole Miss, I don't know that. But I hope he stays. Obviously, I think Hauser is the big one. Because to your point, there are rumors that if Hauser goes, some of the receivers are going to try to follow suit and go into the portal, and then you're really looking at a situation where you're almost a total rebuild offensively. So it's just like dominoes. I think the one big domino falls, and then the rest fall, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. Now, the other way, or the other question I have is, let's say Hauser does leave, all right, and this is just a hypothetical. I don't have any evidence that he's leaving, but we have to talk about it because it's out there in the news and it's a real legitimate story. If he does leave, does his new school allow him to play in the bowl game? I mean, there's a very good chance they say, look, we're going to pay you $2 million to come in here next year. We don't want you playing in the bowl game.
Matt, according to the rules of the NCAA, God knows everybody plays by these rules, and there's no tampering. His new school can't talk to. There will be no new school by then. He can decide he wants to go somewhere, and he can. Let's say it would be to follow JDB, but technically they're not supposed to have that conversation. The portal doesn't open until January 2nd.
Correct.
There should be no new school.
Correct. And then you look at the Chapel, the Chapel Bills of the world, and we know those conversations are taking place today. Probably as we speak, they have middlemen working the phones and negotiating those types of deals behind the scenes. And, does he opt out? I mean, there's a lot of, I'm not trying to stir up controversy here. I think these are legitimate questions where, you guys tell me. These are things that,
unless I'm reading Hauser wrong as a person, even if he transfers and we have no knowledge that he will, Hauser strikes me and things he said and seems to love Greenville and ECU. I would fully expect Hauser to play in the bowl game.
I have no doubt that he loves it. I'm certain he does. But when somebody throws $2 million at you, money talks.
Right, but again, you're not supposed to be throwing $10 million at him yet. So it's.
But we know they are. You and I both know they are.
Oh yeah, I know. But again, I don't. Does that mean he can't play in the bowl? I don't know. I'm tell you what. If Hauser doesn't play in the bowl game, I might give my tickets away. Because boy, I tell you, beating Pitt without Hauser would be a tall task.
Well, that's why, guys, I feel more confident about it because we have. I want to give a shout out to our big donors, and they have some of our big donors have really stepped up. And unless it would have to be, like you said, like an offer where you go, yeah, we know why he went there. But as far as the market value of Hauser, he's going to get a nice payday. Let's just say that. other people know that are on the show, but and also some of the viewers too. But he's going to get a nice payday. And if JDB stays, the other question I have, guys, I've been meaning to ask you for like a week now, on and off the air. Have you guys heard anything about Aldridge leaving?
Don't go there, Dave. Don't go there.
No, I'm not trying to stir up anything. I'm just simply saying, I hope that that's not the case. But I'm just, I've been.
His name has not come up, but there's still a lot of time, a lot of positions to be filled, a lot of vacancies, out there. More will come because dominoes. This coach hires that. This school hires this coach. Blah blah blah. Right. But so far, his name hasn't came up. Let's hope it doesn't.
I would keep, if I could only keep one, I would choose Aldridge. Obviously it wouldn't be my call, but I mean, I feel he's more important.
I would choose I disagree. I would choose JDB. As long as I got Blake Harrell, I'm not worried about the defense. Blake Harrell can't coach offense.
I don't know. Hey, so let me ask you a question. If JDB, when JDB returns for next season, say he does, what is it that you would like him to do better? I mean, I have something in mind. That's why I'm asking.
It's funny you asked that, JR. And you and I wonder if we're thinking the same thing here. You talk about what we could do just to maybe tweak the offense a little bit, like some adjustments to it. All right.
Yep.
The one thing, first of all, I really like this offense. I think it's a great fit for ECU. I think he's done a really good job with it. I like how we get vertical to Anthony Smith. I like how we run the ball. Sometimes I feel like we're a little stubborn with it, but I like how we run the ball. I think the biggest thing you can do with this offense, you can add some shallow crossers and you could add some more mesh concepts. Yep. Is that where you were going with it?
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. And I think that would play into, honestly, and you know what? I think it would play into, we had 3 losses against NC State, BYU, and UTSA, where we literally had no offense in the first quarter. We just can't let that happen. I mean, we got the offense going in all 3 games later, but I mean, the scripted plays were disappointed in those three games. And I think the mesh and shallow crossing, just to get people involved early, that's what I was looking at, Matt. So you're right in tune with me.
Yeah, man. And false starts too. Sorry, Kyle. Go ahead. We got to stop the false starts, guys. If he was the offensive coordinator at Ole Miss and he was getting 3-4 false starts a game, can you imagine that has got to stop?
They got better as the season went on, mostly with the exception of that UTSA game. I would say the one thing I'd like to see him do more consistently is be more consistent about having certain players involved and getting the ball in the playmakers' hands more, scheme things up a little better. We did a good job getting the ball in Anthony Smith's hands, but there was times I didn't think we did a very good job getting the ball in Yannick Smith's hands, some of our tight ends' hands until later in the year.
Great point.
So that would be the one thing that I would say JDB can do better, but he's a great offensive coordinator. I love his scheme. I love his confidence. I think when you're that confident, it kind of rubs off on your players. And so I hope JDB stays. As this discussion about JDB and about Hauser, if anybody's getting mad at us from the administration standpoint, just tell them to go over the Hoist the Colors or other message boards. It's all that's being talked about. So all we're doing is discussing what's out there. What are we supposed to do? Sit here and just not talk about what's out there? Last time I checked, and this is straight up to the administration, and I don't feel I feel the need in my heart, as they say in church, to say this, brother. When you start giving me money, I'll start saying what you want me to. But as long as I'm giving you money, you can kiss my ass.
All right, there you go.
Brilliantly put, Kyle.
Very nice.
By the way, I've got breaking news for you guys, and this is legit from Brett McMurphy. This is interesting, Kyle. I wanted to get y'all's take on this. The final bowl spot is going to guess what team?
Is it a 5-7 team?
The final, all the bowls not filled.
Appalachian State is going to have a rematch with Georgia Southern in the Birmingham Bowl.
Good God.
And check this out. 7+ teams. He's reporting 7+ teams declined the invitation for the Birmingham Bowl.
Wow,
Dang.
that is an indictment on what has happened. I think this. You got contracts made that have to be filled, but something's going to have to be done, or bowl season as we know it is going to go away. I think this playoff has to go to 24,
Yep.
which will save. You could use some of the bowl games in the expanded playoff. Second, it would also cut down on bowl games. You still have some other bowl games, but that's very much like the NIT and teams turning down the NIT.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you see why I brought it up.
That is so you got Georgia Southern in a rematch with App State in the Birmingham. They couldn't even get. How in the world could they not get somebody from another conference to? That doesn't make any sense. I don't. I'm trying to figure out how that even how do you not use 7 teams? There's more than 5 and 7 teams. How does it end up going to App? Do you literally have to go down the line of the APRs? Is that what it is? And then App was the first one to say yes.
I guess they had 7.
They were the third one to say yes because Mississippi State and Rice.
Yeah. So 7 teams turn it down. I just wonder, like I say, how you can't get a team from Conference USA. I can't imagine. Was there a 5 and 7 team from Conference USA or a 5 and 7 MAC school? I'm just trying to figure out how in the world.
That was the SEC. Remember, they didn't have enough teams, and that's the SEC.
Yeah. I just wonder how in the world that is the only matchup they could get, a Georgia Southern App State rematch.
That's going to be the worst Birmingham Bowl ever. They shouldn't even get a trophy.
Well, that's the biggest trophies. I'll tell you one thing, go guys. I'll just make this comment. Birmingham was a great city and a great bowl game. Obviously, beating Coastal, Holton's last game, and all that. But I tell you what, that hurts that bowl because that bowl has a lot of potential. But again, going back to it, I think the not having enough SEC teams hurt that bowl game. It looks like the most.
Yeah. Hey, but speaking of trophies, they do have one of the better ones out there. I feel like the Birmingham Bowl trophy.
I want to know. I want to know, like the discussion, how that went down. If they had to go down the list of APR, I think once you get outside of the top 2 or 3 APR teams, it should just be whoever they want at 5 and 7.
Yeah.
Because having a conference rematch, I mean,
terrible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's a great rivalry. Appalachian State, Georgia Southern is a great rivalry.
They were going to do that ACC. Remember, they were talking about that for the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
ACC versus ACC. Yeah. And that's not the first time it's been done. There's been 2 conference teams playing each other in bowl games before. The first Arizona Bowl comes to mind. It was 2 Mountain West schools, which I don't even think that bowl game exists now. It was in Tucson. But I don't know. That's weird to me. I don't know how you can't get somebody from another conference in that bowl game. But anyway.
Anybody call Carolina, like Kenny Curlin said? Anybody call Carolina yet?
They were 4-8.
I mean, it's getting to that point.
No, last ball spot's filled.
This will never happen. Kyle, you brought up the NIT thing, but is that a way? It'll never happen. But just the thought of having a football NIT for
they're going to call it the Group of 5 playoff.
Yeah, well, I definitely don't agree with that, but I know that's probably where we're headed. But certainly, I don't agree with it because my thing is we do. This is one point I was going to make, guys. We do everything that Alabama, Michigan, all of them. We're not Division II. That's why, Kyle, when you were talking about earlier, you're spot on. Very early in the show. If you're just joining us, go back and listen to Kyle talking about it. But stop saying the Group of 5 and the Power 4 and all that, because they need to just stop saying that. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Those terms are media driven and they do not exist. And so you're spot on there. The other thing I would tell Johnny, I know that we talked about JMU. I'm gonna say this to our fan base: you've got to start giving to our athletics excellence fund. We have got to go on a massive campaign, as I've told you guys privately. But I'm hoping to see that from the administration. I know they've done that privately, but let's go out and raise a ton of money for revenue sharing. That's essentially what it is, and we've got to have a lot of money because we could be in the playoff. I know Kenneth said earlier about next year. If we keep JDB and all the offense, we have a good shot to win the title and being the American representative in the playoff.
Yeah, I had an interesting thought about. I saw the question posed. Maybe we posted it here on the show, but the question was posed as would you rather keep JDB or Hauser? And I think we all said Hauser, but and I do want to keep. I want to keep them both, but I did have this thought after we all said Hauser. North Texas and Tulane both lost their quarterbacks this past year, and they both made the conference championship game this year. They both kept their coordinators. So the biggest thing is if you do, you don't want to lose them both, but if you do lose Hauser and not JDB, you just got to make sure you replace him with the right guy. And the same could be said for losing JDB and keeping Hauser. You just got to make sure you replace him with the right guy. I think, according to what you read on message boards over on HTC, that, supposedly we, again, this isn't coming from us, administration. This is coming from other people that, we're already in the process of moving on and looking for a new OC. So that's being reported by other folks. So
yeah, I mean,
anyway.
to not talk about this would be idiotic. It really would.
Yeah,
be.
I just don't understand how people get pissed off with us when literally other people are reporting that we are in the process of moving on and looking for, I don't know.
Because
ask them if they want to fight, Dave.
Hey, Kyle, I just want to expand on the North Texas thing where they lost their quarterback and look what they did. Do you know that their quarterback after Chandler Morris left, he transferred, and that left a walk-on, Drew Mestamaker, and he threw for a total of 365 yards in high school. He was a punter and played safety, played a little bit of quarterback, but ran the scout squad well. So you never know. And look what he did as a walk-on.
I think that system they run is very conducive. I think it's very quarterback friendly. What they were running down at North Texas. I'll be interested to see how that translates to where's he going?
Chad Morris is going to Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I mean, not Chad Morris. No, Chad Morris he's not going anywhere. Chad Morris isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, I know. Morris, the head coach at
Eric Morris.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I have something that I've been thinking about. I think Kyle is going to appreciate this. If it does come out to where there's the Power 4 and everybody else, or the Power 2 would be more likely, and everybody else, I think we're going to see just an explosion of FCS teams going to FBS. I mean, we're getting a trick. We're at 136 right now. I mean, we get 2 or 3 every single year. I mean, we've only had one that went back down. That was Savannah State. They went back to Division II. But other than that, yeah. I mean, I feel like there's going to be 50 teams lining up to come into FBS and follow like Tarleton State and some of the other later examples.
To come into FCS or FBS?
FBS, to leave FCS, to come to FBS. Kyle, I struggle with that because we're playing for a championship.
Okay, you're talking about if the Power 2
if it breaks. Yes, if it comes down to us and them, there's going to be a lot more of us because there's going to be a lot of FCS teams that are going to be jumping and trying to move up to.
Well, I think you'd have to at that point, and I think what's keeping them from doing that now, feeling like they couldn't compete with the Alabamas of the world, would be gone. Yeah, I think you'd see the North Dakotas, South Dakotas, the Montanas, the I'm trying to think of who the hell else, Richmonds. Et cetera, move up to FBS at that point, or whatever it would be called.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that, Matt, guys, you think about that old adage, be careful what you wish for. I think that, I think a lot of these folks that are in the administrations or conferences, they have no clue when it comes to Power 2. They have no clue how this could backfire on them. Or maybe they do, and they don't care.
Power 2 is exactly right. It's what it is now. It already is Power 2.
Yeah.
Pac-12 or Big 12 and the ACC being considered power conferences is an illusion. And quite honestly, the group of 6, Pac-12 coming in is also an illusion. Conference USA and the MAC are about as irrelevant. They might as well be FCS conferences. They have absolutely no relevance in the world of college football at all. And I hate to say that, but Conference USA and the MAC are irrelevant. I mean, what relevance do they have to anything?
Well, that's what my point is about having the conference champions, in which they will never do. But that's the way that you make them relevant. That's how you grow the sport. That's how you have what the ESPN wants more content, right? So you have the 24 teams, and with Greg Sankey wanted 100 teams in, and all his teams in, and oh wait a minute, we'll give you this many, and the ACC can have a few, and all that. I'm like, look, it's not about a tournament where every so-called power conference gets 3 or 4 teams in every year. Like you have to have 4 SEC schools. It's supposed to be the best schools, and just because you play in the SEC doesn't mean that you're one of the best schools. I mean, I know there's SEC people probably not watching our show or listening to our show, but there's more than one conference out there, and I would much rather have a conference champion in, just like basketball, than to have a whole bunch of overrated, mediocre teams from a power league. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, just to jump back about what JR was saying about an influx of FCS coming up to FBS. I mean, God, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't get more watered down than it is. And
I think what he was saying, Matt, is if the Power 2 break away, and you have that Big Ten, SEC, or Power, the super conference kind of thing, and then we're our own division, that there would be even more schools playing in this division, because you'd have a bunch of schools that are now FCS jump up to whatever the hell we would be at whatever you would call the group of 6 if it was officially its own division.
Right, yeah, but Matt doesn't want to see that, right, Matt?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's not that I don't want to see it as much as I think you got to have certain requirements in place, and I think from a attendance perspective, you got to be able to have a legitimate stadium.
Yeah.
I don't want to see FBS teams playing in high school stadiums and I don't want to see 300 people in the stands. I mean, It's bad enough watching going to Temple games and Rice games, and you know what I mean? And imagine I'm just throwing this out there, but if a Georgetown or went to can you imagine there would be 75 people in the stands in a 4,000 seat stadium?
No, I'm talking more about teams that are committed, like Tarleton State. And, you got to remember also Sacramento State is out recruiting a lot of FBS teams, and they're not even
trying
good.
everything they can to get into
they really are.
The Pac-12.
They are. But hey, we got to look at other teams in the past. App State, Marshall, Boise State. There's so many. James Madison. I mean, there's a lot of success stories of teams that have moved up.
Yeah.
So they're out there.
Kennesaw State won Conference USA this year.
Yeah. Yep.
Jerry Mack, by the way, former
point.
North Carolina Central head coach, year 1 at Kennesaw. He was at North Carolina Central, did a hell of a job, then left and coached in the NFL as an assistant for a couple of years, and took the coaching job at Kennesaw. And I didn't love the hire on paper because, I didn't know what kind of measuring stick NC Central was. But, man, he did a hell of a job at Kennesaw State this year. And he's a guy that, again, I think somebody like Southern Miss, if they don't promote Blake Anderson, I'm sure they're going to give him a call and see if he has interest. He's a guy that next year could be a really hot coach if he has another season like he did this year.
No doubt about it. Do you guys have anything else? I know we're about at 10:30. I know that we're going to talk about a roundtable. Do you guys have any topics you want to talk about?
I was going to say just in the coming days and weeks we'll break down the bowl game more. We'll have somebody on from the bowl, hopefully, if not, the city of Annapolis to talk about things to do there, and just stuff like that. We'll continue to preview the bowl game, as we move forward.
No doubt. And go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, no, we're just kind of like bringing up some different topics here. I hope that we can make this a good experience for the players going back to Annapolis for a second consecutive year, and just try to mix it up a little bit, make it a fresh, experience for this team. Because, I have my own experiences playing in the Liberty Bowl back-to-back years, which had no issues with the actual game itself, but I was not a fan of going back to Memphis, to the city of Memphis for a second year. Was never really a big fan of that place. Look, I think Annapolis is a really good spot, but I think you got to mix it up for the players, make sure it's a good experience. You got to reward these guys a little bit, and so hopefully we're able to do that. But again, I know a lot of people are not happy with the location. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I actually think it's very convenient for our fan base for the most part.
I think it's good. Good.
No, I was just going to say I agree with you, Matt. I think what my concern was not necessarily the bowl where we're playing, was the matchup. And I think Pitt is a great matchup for us. It's one of the teams I've talked about. It probably won't happen, but I would love to have a home and home, a 2-for-1, whatever we could do with them, because I think Pitt is a good team for us, and not a bad drive even to get to Pitt. So I would love to see that. I would love to see us play them, and any other team we can get like that. They have a rich football tradition. We played them in the past. We have a history. So who else wants to go? Stevie?
Yeah, I think I don't have a problem with the military. Like I said at the start of the show, I'm just excited about getting a hold of Pitt. We can beat an ACC school. Anytime we can beat an ACC school, I'm good for it.
What about you, Johnny?
Well, we got plenty of time to talk about the Military Bowl. I just wanted to note something. The latest SP Plus rankings came out on ESPN, which is a very analytical approach to identifying the best teams in college football. And the Pirates are sitting at number 40, and they're ahead of, I'm going to read you the next few teams after them. They're ahead of UNLV, Houston, Florida State, Tulane, UConn, Nebraska, Kansas State, Old Dominion, Cincinnati, San Diego State, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Duke. So, and Boise State and Wake Forest. So, that's a computer telling us that. That's not a person. So,
but not
we've had a good season. We've had a good season, and we performed well. And, I think that capping it off with a bowl win against Pittsburgh would be outstanding.
No doubt. Matt, Bubba had a question for you real quick. He said, what did y'all do in Memphis as far as with Stanford, the team activities before the bowl with Stanford and Illinois? Like he said, eating contest.
Good question. I mean, we did a lot of you do a lot of things with the other team, with the opponent. Like we did like a bowling competition. There was like a dinner one night where both teams were there, and they had people coming on stage and doing like some skits and things like that. Like I never had any use for that stuff personally. I'm sure a lot of guys liked it, but like I never really had any use for like trying to be in the same room as the other team. It didn't do anything for me personally. We did go to Graceland, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool to kind of walk around the home of the late great Elvis Presley, which I was interested in. But from a player perspective, we did a lot of at nights we would go downtown a little bit to Beale Street, and nothing crazy. Of course, you get ready to play a game, but you take in that scene a little bit, try to have a good time, but. It gets a little monotonous. Like it's cool to go to a bowl once, you go back a second time. It's you've kind of done it all. That's what I was saying before. Like I hope we can mix it up a little bit for these guys. There's a lot to do in the greater DC area, so I'm sure they can make it a good, worthwhile trip for them.
Yeah,
Instead of staying in D.C., they could stay in Baltimore.
Could stay in Baltimore.
Just let it all. Just let the rest of that joke write itself.
okay. They are going bowling. They are going to have a bowling competition between the two teams. Matt, they said that on the conference call tonight. So that's going to be Christmas Eve. So you're going to go bowling on Christmas Eve.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he played. Logan played his guitar, right? He played Johnny Be Good, if I remember.
I believe he did. He did something like that. Logan played the guitar. I know. I think Coach Connors was. What did he do? He did something. I think he might have been playing the drums. One night he did something too. I mean, there was definitely some pretty fun stuff, but yeah, I mean, like, you know, you could take that stuff or leave it. I mean, I think of a bowl game. I think of, like, you know, being in Florida, like, you know, having a chance to go to the beach, you know, doing some cool stuff. But cold weather bowls, I guess you have to, you know, think outside the box.
Do you think that just, you know, the memories of winning that bowl game last year, beating NC State, it was such a positive experience, will help our guys be more excited for the bowl? You know, even though it's a repeat trip.
Well, they're going to have a comfort, like a little bit of a comfort zone, meaning that they've done it. They know somewhat the routine. They're familiar with the locker room. They're familiar with the environment, which I think is all helpful. You know, I think that's really helpful. So I think that's, you know, that definitely plays into our hands a little bit for sure.
No doubt. I'm excited about it. I know that people want to go to new places. I get it. But like I said, my kids will be there. I've got a lot of family, friends. I've got you guys. There's, by the way, Kyle, help me out on this. Let me see if I've got it right here, actually. You can go for tickets. We got the email here. And you can go to the tickets to get your.
I think it's militarybowl.org.
Yes, that's it. That's what I was looking for. And by the way, if you're looking to get it through the Pirate Club, you have until December the 15th, off the top of my head, for priority. So those of you that are season ticket holders, I think it's the 15th.
Yeah, and I'll tell everybody if you order through the militarybowl.org, like I did, it's through Tixar. You got to create a Tixar account, which Tixar is a good company. The same people that did their tickets last year. Bowl tickets and parking passes will not be delivered into your email until December 17th. I already ordered mine, so if you haven't ordered yours yet, you wouldn't know that. So just so everybody knows. But plenty of good seats. We're going to be on the same side as we were last year, as far as the team. So you can go ahead if you want to. And if you're not planning on getting them through the Pirate Club, you can go to militarybowl.org and it's already set up there which sides we're going to be on. And you can order your tickets and order your parking pass and be done with it.
No doubt. And as far as parking goes, as you guys remember, go ahead and get your parking pass. Go ahead and get your parking pass. So I think we lost JR, but
I'm still here, Dave.
That's Matt.
It's Matt.
Was Matt snoring or was that his dog?
That was the dog, I think.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. It was
I don't think it was him. It was Carmelo. Sorry, Johnny.
No, I was getting hey, but are we going to try to do a redo of the remote broadcast from the Fisherman Inn?
We will see.
No idea. I have not. I mean, I kind of last year. I'm kind of torn on that one. That was fun, but then I also missed. You know, everybody said they had such a great time downtown last year. I don't know. I'm torn on that, and it's ultimately up to all of us. But I hated rushing to get there. It seemed like we could not get there on time. It seemed like it was, you know, it went well for the most part, but it seemed like it was such a rush. I don't know. We'll talk about it off the air. See who all wants to do it, and
I think the lesson that we learned is to leave. We'll need to leave. We left at like 10 last year. We left a lot later than we had.
Yeah, earlier. Yeah, well, whether we're doing that or not, yeah, leave earlier. And I'm not 100% that we're going up the night before. We may day trip it. And
Okay.
if that's the case, obviously I won't be there.
What Kyle is saying, he's going to opt out, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to opt out. Stevie and Johnny, he's going to opt out.
Stevie's definitely opting out also.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Well, he
disappointed
doesn't-
with. I told y'all I was disappointed with how I was introduced tonight, so I'm opting out of everything.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah, I'm. We haven't decided yet. Like if we're gonna date. We already got it. We're definitely going to the bowl. We just haven't decided yet if we're going to the day before, or just going the day of.
All right. Well, there's plenty of time. We can all make those decisions. And by the way, go ahead and a lot of you better get your hotel. Man, those hotel rates have been going like that. So,
Hey, how about some advice? If you can't find a hotel in Annapolis, check out Kent Narrows. I think it's technically Graysonville, Maryland.
Yeah, we would leave, Bubba. We would leave about 4 a.m.
It's there's some good deals out there. It's very relaxing.
Hey,
How
Kyle,
long is that drive back over to Annapolis? Use about 20, 30 minutes.
Well, I think it's a little longer than that, but not much because the bridge, it's like 15 minutes in itself.
Right.
Kyle, if we win, are you going to go tarps off in Annapolis?
Good
If we win, if I'm going to go tarps off, and I'll tell you what, if it just depends on how cold it is, and if everybody else is doing it, I might join in.
You're happy to see us.
I might join in.
Hey, Pitt's a good program, and really it's going to be a really good game. So I feel like it will be. All right, Matt, I got a question for you.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me all right? I was having some audio issues.
Yeah, we can hear you. Kenneth's asking Kyle if he would go tarps off in Annapolis if we win. Will you go tarps off in the sidelines if we win?
Hell yeah.
I remember Chase.
Absolutely.
What was that last comment? Screw what?
My son went tarps off for the Memphis win. He was having a blast, man.
I saw Screw something
Kenny,
comment.
Kenny's doing it.
Okay, I'll go back and look myself.
We got to have the adult version, right, guys? Of the tarps off.
I think Bubba's response was screw that about leaving at 11 a.m. for day trip, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what that was.
You know what? Talk to my wife, Bubba. Talk to Jessica. If she had her druthers, she would just stay at home all the time. So I talked to her.
All right. Anybody got anything else?
Nope.
I guess silence is consensus. Thanks to everybody here tonight, and we'll have another show on Wednesday nights as we get ready. We'll keep walking it up to the bowl, and we'll talk about any live broadcasts. We'll let you know about all that kind of stuff. But we're going to have, I promise you, we're going to have a lot of fun. I'll say this, the people that don't want to go to, that's fine, but we need a lot of Pirates. I know Bubba was talking about that. We need a lot of Pirates, and again, in Annapolis. And hey, we could be 2023, right, guys? 2-10. The fact that we have a bowl game, we got a good opponent. It's a great place to see the game. I'm excited about it.
I'm happy and excited. And we don't have to talk about Pirate basketball tonight. We'll table that till Wednesday.
Okay.
JR, what, you want to finish the show in a good mood?
No, yeah. I really, and I'm being
let's finish it on a bright note.
On a bright note, we have a bowl game on September 27th.
No.
All right, guys. Yeah, we'll do that. Appreciate everybody watching and listening. It means a lot. We had another big night for that. So thank you. I can't say that enough. Appreciate that. And one final thing, I do have good news for you guys. One more thing, I promise, we'll get out of here. We actually are teaming up with Scrub Brothers. They're a car wash in Greenville, and they're watching tonight. So I want to say hello to Trey. Yeah, and they're actually
Fire Tower Road,
and they're going to give us free codes. So it may not benefit Matt driving all the way down for Connecticut, but we will have where you can get a free car wash. We'll be talking to you about that here in the next show or two between Wednesday or Sunday. So we'll let you know about that. But really cool. Hey, you're driving up to Annapolis, you can have your ride looking really, really good and drive. and I know that Johnny will be driving 55. So
Never, Dave.
All right.
Unlike
Well,
Sammy Hagar.
I can't try.
I love that song.
Hey, Dave, just for a trivia question, can you name the only courthouse I've ever had to show up in for speeding? It's your Williamston, Martin County Courthouse. They're the only ones that have ever been able to get me. I mean, I drive fast and I never get, but yeah, Martin County, I slow it down there.
He'll be well. Guess what? He just jinxed himself. I guarantee. Watch him get pulled and watch him get pulled in Northampton County when he comes through.
Yeah, he's going to see in Lasker. He's going to get pulled in Lasker when he gets.
Town cop in Lasker is going to get him.
Rich Square. He'll get pulled in Rich Square when he comes to see you.
What is the speed limit there, Steve? I'm guessing it's like 25.
35.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go.
You shouldn't have a problem in Rich Square.
Is that the population or the speed limit?
Both.
It's Rich Square, not we're talking about Rich Square, not Lasker. But,
Oh, 50 then.
yeah. No, Rich Square's got more. They're in the hundreds.
Okay.
we haven't even made the hundreds.
Yeah.
Well, how many does Lasker have?
Stevie and his daughter.
Like 70 now.
Oh man, population growth. Hey Matt.
No, we've gone down, but we were like 90 some the last time we did a census, and now we've gone down to like 70.
All right. Yeah, I thought we were bad if we have 5,100 in Williamston. 20.
Yeah, y'all are terrible, Dave. God knows.
That's bad. All right, Matt, what do you think about that? Would you move to a town that has 70 people?
Probably not. I gotta say, probably not.
That's
There would have to be. Put
because-
it this way: I could, but there would have to be like the surrounding town would have to have like
Massive.
Well, what are you talking about?
going on.
He's got Roanoke Rapids, Murfreesboro, and a Hosky.
That's Kyle. You know why he wouldn't move here? Because there's not a Balsam Hill factory nearby.
That's right. That's right. And it's better than real. It's Balsam Hill. Balsam Hill is since 1971. There's nothing more synonymous with Matt Semenza and the Semenza household than Balsam Hill.
He's got more.
Feel the thrill with Balsam Hill.
Y'all have those spruces down there. All the needles fall off.
We got Fraser firs.
We need to put.
They're trash, right, man?
Trash. Oh yeah, Fraser fir trash. Yeah.
We need to put the ad up here.
Y'all only grow artificial trees in Connecticut.
Oh,
We need to put
We
the.
grow them. We grow them right out of the ground here.
We need to put the ad up here that Matt did for Balsam Hill. Nothing comes between me and my balsams.
Nothing comes between me and my balsams.
Stevie, I heard that you were driving the Balsam Hill float in the Lasker parade.
Yeah, with the Grinch.
Yeah.
The Grinch.
I thought it was
that's right,
Robert
yeah.
Matthews in that picture.
Oh, shot
we're throwing
fired.
shade. Oh man.
Shot fired.
Wow. Well, all right. We'll get out of here before we get more in trouble, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
All right, boys.
I had fun. Have a great night, everybody. And as always,
Later.
go Pirates.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.